I was looking for a science project, and marine biology has always interested me. So I was just looking for through newspaper articles and BBC articles and trying to find something occurring in the marine world and trying to figure out a reason for it. And I found an article explaining that an increasing amount of waste was being dumped into the ocean.
There's a lot of available online sources, like the Massachusetts Science Fair has a whole ton of online PDFs, which there's a whole thing I read about how to do a science fair project. And it gives you suggestions on how to design your board, how to display your hypothesis, how to display your materials that you used. And that would really be useful for anyone who would be interested in really maximizing the potential of their project.
I was just searching around for ideas, and my teacher mentioned something about doing DNA, and so I looked into it more on the internet, and I found just a simple way that you can actually extract DNA.
Mostly you start just like an online level, like Google, see what data is out there, but then you have to go definitely deeper into it.
In my literature work, I researched multiple websites. I found multiple sources about how the plants would grow best and what to change them with and how to grow them best.
There's so much scientific literature out there from industrial companies, from other scientists, that you can access on online databases, and this periodicals, which you have to go in and read the scientific literature.
Nowadays, everything is online, so literature searches are really easy. And but also, other than online databases, you can get it from the newspaper, you can get stuff from science journals, and then there's also news white papers and things like that. I have this whole binder full of research right here. That's only the research I've printed out.
I went to George Mason University Library, and they were very helpful, and there was a lot of stuff there about crickets and insects and mating calls, and anything I needed was there.
But mostly is talking one-on-one with my mentors who've been studying for 60 years or so like that. So it's just more learning from people who are experienced.
There were multiple projects similar to mine, but none for this exact plant that I could find, just a general range for this plant.
I researched the background information about yeast, and I learned that there are some people that use different types of fermentation in their studies, but I didn't actually find any yeast fermentation experiments.
While researching articles, I came across one that related nail biting to stress. And in the article, I read it, I was very interested in the topic, and towards the end, they mentioned that there was no clear relationship between nail biting and obsessive compulsive disorder. So I decided to go along and do a test on that.
I've researched into whether or not things like this have been tested. And there have been two studies that I found on iPods, one of which was conducted in 2001, which said iPods do not interfere with defibrillators, and yet 3 years later, in 2004, a study claimed that they did. So such inconsistencies are something that's a prevalent issue within this area.
The research articles that I read as background from my experiment were difficultly worded, and they're pretty difficult to understand, but if you really spend time with it and you understand the concept behind it, then you're going to understand it eventually.
And talking with the kids, I find out right away just what I expect. They use the internet to look behind, find the previous work that's pertinent to theirs, and develop their whole business plan, you could say, to pursue their research project. They're much better at it than the older generation like me because they're more imaginative in designing their search and asking questions of the internet.